Today's show comes courtesy of Wild Fork Foods with over 30 brick and mortar locations. How about over 700 products offered, including 450 plus meat and seafood from appetizers to desserts to all the briskets and beef ribs that one could want. Whether you purchase online or in-store, Wild Fork Foods is one that you need to check out. We will hear a little bit more about our show sponsor, Wild Fork Foods, in a bit. Last week or so, I did a brisket cook that was probably some of the best brisket I've ever done on the channel. I will have information down below on that cook. That said, a few people commented and asked when I was going to do a brisket in the Lone Star offset, and that in here is what today's video is all about. So look, what I want to do here is let's take this in the house. Let's get that brisket on the board. I want to do a 48-hour dry brine, so let's get it cleaned up and let's start the show. A couple points on this brisket here. It is a USDA prime brisket. We are looking at about 11 pounds. Also keep in mind, this is going to be a backyard trim. Just take your time and follow these steps that I am about to lay out for you. And the first thing I like to do is take that outer edge meat off and also start to shape the brisket. You're always going to get some brown meat on the outer edges. You want to get rid of that. At that point, flip the brisket over and we are going to take a look at that fat cap. Now remember, fat is flavor, fat is good. Anything brown, anything discolored, you can shave it right off. Keep about a 1/4 inch fat cap all the way around if you can. And also flip it, any silver skin on the bottom side, you want to get rid of that. Just always keep in mind, you always want to shape the brisket. You want to take off any edges, anything thin, because that is just going to burn. And that is basically all there is to it. Once you are happy with your backyard trim, let's move on to the next step. So guys, look, if you are not mixing up your own brisket rub, you are certainly missing out. Leave all those fancy rubs in the cabinet. You don't need them. Grab some 16 mesh black pepper and also some kosher salt. You are gonna go a 2-to-1 ratio. That is 1 cup kosher salt, 2 cups of 16 mesh black pepper, and you can even go a 1/4 cup of granulated garlic. Alrighty guys, look, you've got your custom blend. Now it is time to rub that brisket down. So all you need to know here is no binder is necessary. You want to get the tops, the bottoms, make sure you get all sides. If you think you're putting too much rub on, trust me, you are not. After you get that brisket all rubbed down, get yourself a tray with a rack on it. Get that brisket on the rack, on the tray, in the fridge, uncovered for 48 hours. This one's going to start about 3 a.m. in the morning with a nice cup of hot java. It is about 30 degrees outside with a little bit of a wind gust, so it is definitely chilly. Once I get my coffee made, I will get the brisket out of the fridge and get it on the stove to start bringing that up to room temperature. After all that, with a fresh sip of coffee, it is time to get outside and fire up the Lone Star. So guys, firing up my Lone Star could never be more simple. It is always going to start with that bottom coal bed, and once that coal bed is going, it is nothing more than just adding in some kindling and also adding in your splits. I am going to start this cookout with some white oak. Probably will move on over to some cherry. Maybe I'll mix up the two. Once I get that pit up to temp, we are looking at about 250 Fahrenheit. It'll be time to go in, get the briskets, get it in the pit, and start this cook. So guys, look, of note here, I have been evaluating this truly wireless thermometer by the Chefstemp, and I gotta tell you, I am definitely impressed, as now there is no more guesswork what your pit is doing when you run out to the store. So that is a win-win for me, and we will certainly hear more about that in some upcoming shows. I will have a full review. Other than that, the pit has reached that temp of 250 Fahrenheit. Let's get the brisket in. We will let this run straight with no peaks at 250 for 3 hours. At that time, I will bring you guys back. At this point, you have developed a nice bark because we have reached that 3-hour mark. In hours 3, hours 4, and hours 5, you want to get your spritzers. I am going with a straight water spritz. You can do a 50 water, 50 apple cider vinegar if you'd like. spray it down. Don't forget that bottom, hit the sides, close it up, and we will see you next at the stall. We have reached that 7-hour mark, and we are about 170 on the temp, and that is definitely in the stall. I let it go about an hour into the stall just to get the right color, and I think I am there. And at this point, we are gonna boat it up. Look, I love doing the boat method. I never was a fan of wrapping the brisket in butcher paper because I hated that it steamed it, and I also hated the odor that steam mixed with the meat. It was a pet peeve of mine, so along came the boat, and I am 100% thrilled. We will get it boated up, get it back in the pit, and we will take it right up to 200 or so, or toothpick tender, and at that time, I will bring you guys back. 8.5 hours in, a beautiful color, and more importantly than that, we have reached 200 plus on the dial, and we are definitely toothpick tender. So basically what we will do here, we will get it off, we will get it in the house, I will get it next to the stove. You want to keep that thermostat in it, because I like to let that temperature come down to about 160. And at that 160 degrees, I will turn my stove on. I will get the brisket in the stove. We will hot hold it for about 15 to 20 hours at 170. And after all that, I will get it out. I will get it down to the shack. We will slice it open, do that taste test, and close out the show. All right, guys, look, so this one is gonna clock in right at that 48 hours on the brine. We smoked it up on the Lone Star for about 8.5 hours, and we did a 20-hour hot hold, and here she is. And I gotta tell you, man, she is definitely looking good. We got a nice bark. It is definitely nice and crusty. That is what that boat is gonna give you as it continues to render that fat and continues to break it all down. Let's get the last glove on here. Let's turn that camera down. Let's cut it open and then talk about it. All righty, guys, look, it is pretty ice out here right now, and I am in no mood to dance, so let's just take it right down the center. Oh yeah, I mean, that color is spot on. I mean, just a little bit of squeeze. I mean, we are moist as moist can be. Oh yeah. I mean, what more is there to say? This has been nailed. There is no doubt about it. What could you say other than I hope I got the shot, man? This is a pretty perfect brisket. There is no doubt about it. Let's do that taste test. So here it is. I love the pellet grill, man. I love what the pellet grill brings to the backyard party for sure. But you can tell immediately that this was cooked on an offset. The smoke is more pronounced. It is more sweeter. It is not overpowering at all. It is practically pretty perfect. That rub that we used, perfect. The hot hold is a must. I love the hot hold. There is no pressure to get the brisket done by dinner time. I hot held at 20 hours. I could have went 25. I could went 15. Whenever I need the brisket to be done, that's when it is done, and that is perfect for me. Guys, this is a 10. There is no doubt about it. I am over the roof thrilled with this cook. There was some time, there was some effort put into it, but the payoff is perfection. There is no doubt about it. And I also got to throw out a huge thanks to wildforksfoods.com. If you've never purchased from Wild Forks, you've got to check them out. And as noted, with over 30 brick and mortar locations, you just may have a Wild Forks next to you. So that is a must check out for sure. Again, my name is Tommy. I appreciate you all for watching. And until next time, we will see you soon.